Hello, my name is TuesD Chambers and I'm the Ballard High School librarian, and I am so lucky today to be working with Rebecca Wynkoop at Robert Eagle Staff. Rebecca, what would you like to share with us today?
Well, you had asked that I share just a little bit about how I am using Google Slides to create interactive student-paced lessons around different materials that we have available to them in either our library's collection or through our Library Link program through the Seattle Public Library.
Well, and I love, because I've seen you do, just like you mentioned, I've seen you do everything from research to poetry lessons, to even looking at their own reading lives and looking at what they have checked out. So you've even done all of those things using slides. Can you share with us how you do that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. What I will start with are a couple of examples that I've used certainly in the last, I'll try and provide examples just from this year, right? Here in the here and now, even though a lot of the skills and strategies that I'll share today, I learned myself when we were teaching remotely or in a hybrid fashion. So one of the first things that I'll show is just the most recent lesson that we've done is on poetry and giving students places to access their different ways for students to access. So this is the back room. This is what it looks like on my end as far as I'm building it. I'll also, though, really quickly just click on the link that I provide to students from Schoology. This is the student side. This is what students see. And what I've done is I've embedded via Libby, which our students all have student cards, digital cards through the Library Link program with Seattle Public Library. I've embedded access points to both the digital sample and the audio sample of books when they're available. And on the left-hand side, we have collections of poetry. On the right-hand side, we have novels written in verse, all of which are also available in our library. So I'm sharing with them for this particular lesson what's available. So for example, when a student clicks on the book, where to begin, it takes them to the digital sample in Libby. In addition to when we model this in class, in addition, there is also, you can see the little earbuds that are laying next to the book, that if the students click on that, that will take them to the audiobook of the exact same title so that they can choose to listen, they can choose to read, or they can do both simultaneously. So that's the first thing, is that we're just providing different ways for students to explore. In addition, when I do this in the library, I try and pull as many of these books as we can and have them out on display so that students can pick them up as well. When they want to. They can then either place a hold in Destiny Discover for a library copy. They can borrow this almost always right away via Libby in either audio or digital format. In addition to that, I thought I'd just really quickly, we'll go back and I'll show you just a couple of the other things that we've done, just to give you some examples of
work. And right now you're showing your Schoology page, right?
Correct.
Right. And what's gorgeous is I love how you've done previous weeks, and then you've embedded all of the weeks within, and then it's hyperlinked all of your lessons.
Correct. So the really great thing is you don't have to have any like formal website design training to use a Google slide. And when you save it as, it specifically for publication to the web, then here you have what looks like a beautifully designed website or page when you do that. So I thought I'd pop down really quickly and show you a couple of examples. Here's one that we did a few weeks ago called First Page Fire. This was a lesson, TuesD, that I borrowed from you. And the idea was just getting kids into books that they might not normally find or see, and thinking about how we can give them that opportunity to experience a little bit of the book. And the same thing is true here. I'm linking, the book is linking to a digital copy or a digital sample in Libby, and the audio gives them an opportunity to listen as well. A lot of our students are still not sure about audiobooks. So I try and embed the audiobooks in there as often as possible. We talk about driving to practice or grandma's house, or your siblings are being really noisy and you just need to drown them out, like all of these options. And we also recognize that audiobooks are a great way for students who self-identify as non-readers to find a different access point. to literature. So in addition to First Page Fire, I thought I'd pop down and show you an example of one that I did for our research in Science in the News. Science in the News with our science teachers, providing links to databases that are available through Library Link. Because students, sometimes forget what their ID looks like. We embed that into the slide. We also I'm able to embed the actual assignment into this, and we're able to talk a little bit about the goals that we have. One of the other things too is you can make this bilingual. For example, if a student were to click on Ciencia en las Noticias, then they would get, I'm also linking here to any versions of these databases that we have available in a second language. And so it just provides a different access point for students as well. And then for our students in accessible education, we also are able to differentiate the resources for them. And all of these slides are available to all of the students, and we tell them to pick what supports their learning best. So we guide them through that process as well. And then last but not least, I'll show you one other research assignment that we did. If I can find it quickly, I apologize for.
That's good for you to see what you've been doing.
So. That's true. You can also, a little sneak peek into what we're doing here in the library. We also did recently, I supported a 5 themes project in a social studies class. And so this is the slide that we made. The other advantage to these Google Slides is, one, students don't have to be with me or in the library to access this. It can be a link on my Schoology page. It can be a link on their own class page. I can share this with their teachers and they embed them into Schoology. So there's lots of different ways that this continues to support students, even if they're not with me in the library. So providing that self-paced opportunity, allowing students to come back and find these things, is really one of the key elements of using a Google Slide in this way. I'm going to go ahead really quickly, though, if you don't mind. This seems like a good time to talk to you about how I do it.
Actually, let's pause there, Rebecca, and let's make that video too. So if you are interested in all the tips and tricks of making these awesome slides, stay tuned for the next video.